went into the service, ended up in training in Camp Lee, Virginia. Because of my ROTC training that I had in high school, I was noticed by the company commander, and so I became one of those trainers of basic training.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
I was in the Army. I was shipped overseas. The invasion started. I was with a 701st Tank Battalion, and my wife always wondered why a big guy like me was put in such a small tank, she thought.
We were one ship and many going across because the Germans were bombing and sinking some of the ships going. Well, we landed in Italy, and I'm called by the sergeant, and he says, he's making me head of the squad leader.
I enlisted in February, and even the first day on a train ride from late afternoons from Chicago all night to Camp Break Your Back, called Breckenridge, leftover from World War II. And they fed us some, what they call something on a shingle. I will be careful not to say what it really was.
I was in the infantry as a military policeman, looking after German SS troopers.
I went overseas, trained as a cryptographer, coding and decoding. We boarded a troop ship April 20th, 1944. We pulled out of the convoy, the only ship to do so. The minute we left, the ship next to us closed ranks.
I was a combat soldier. I was in Guadalcanal. We were the first outfit to start the offensive against the Japanese.
Well, the hardest part about the war is also, is doing what you need to do. I was in the Air Corps. The crew chief on B-24s, B-27s.
Lo and behold, I get orders which take me to the island of Adak in the Aleutian Islands, and secret orders from the High Command of the Alaskan Defense Command.
We went through France and part of Germany, and I got 4 battle stars actually.
When all of a sudden I hear a little bang, and I got hit with shrapnel, and I was lucky that another about 4 or 5 feet I would be here to see you.
My main service for the second year of the term of enlistment was as a medic in a hospital in Trieste.
One day they brought a troop ship in of German POWs. How can you be civil to these guys? These are the guys that have been killing your people. They're kids the same as we are, just out of high school, number one. Number two, if I go down, then I'm no better than they are in a sense.
Sergeant in charge said, listen, we got to get somebody to go back to the captain and find out whether we have to battle it out or come back in or ask for help. I said, I'll go. They were firing at me with machine guns. And when I got back to the captain, I told him the story. He says, well, go on back in there again and get them out of there. So I had to go back in again.
We're given the job to move the Germans out of France. I seem to wake up, I'm all flat on my face. And I don't know where I'm hit. So I'm feeling myself every place else. And I have a scar here where I was shot. 3 Purple Hearts and a Silver Star. 3 times wounded, they send you home. I didn't know it at that time, so that's why I exclaimed as I did. I'm going home.
1 hour later, German planes came over, bombed and sank that ship, and that I escaped it by only 1 hour. There isn't a day of my life that I don't give thanks that I came through that.
The hardest thing, being there in a bay away from my wife, and that was the hardest thing.
My favorite story would have to be with making my Grand European tour on my 3 weeks leave. And we went to Salzburg, Vienna, and then of course to Paris, where I had my first love affair with a French girl.
Truthfully, the best times when you were off base, there was always lots of girls.
To be truthful, the most difficult thing was fighting off the German Fräuleins.
When I got into the service, I said, well, I'm leaving all my good buddies back at home. I may never see them again, but I got fooled. The guys in the Army were the best buddies you ever had.
The most positive thing is feeling you did whatever was required of you to do, and you did it to the best of your ability, and thank God you came out alive.